And we're live. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Multiverse Show, episode 110, with the Greatest Show on Monday crew. And we're going to get things started off with some of the intros first, so get everybody back on board. First off, I have to mention, we have Mr. Fame Entertainment himself, the Titan of Texas. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, people? Fame Entertainment from TitGamesNetwork.com. Thank you guys for rocking with us once again. The greatest show on a Monday. And as always, get your gaming news from TitGamesNetwork.com. Yeah, buddy.
And we have Mike P. The Truth.
Yo, what's going on, guys? No longer the Don of Deletion. I am still the Don of Suspension, as I am in Twitter jail. But thank you for joining us for another episode of the Multiverse Show. As always, a great show planned for you guys tonight, so let's get it in.
And we have the editor from the Inner Circle, Sam Tolbert. How you doing, sir?
Very well. It's good to be back. There is a lot of stuff to talk about, both good and bad. But it's going to be a great show, even if it's a heart-rending one.
And we have Mr. James Wilson. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Ivan. Yes, welcome to the greatest show on a Monday.
And that's everybody up, and I'm Anchorman V2. You guys know how to find me everywhere else. So we're going to get started, but first off, as we have almost the whole crew together, who knows, maybe, maybe Undead might show up. Who knows? But if he does show up, great. But we'll kind of catch up with you guys real quick. What have you guys been playing? We were in the middle of Broketober. We just finished Broketober technically, and everyone's just playing a bunch of different stuff. What have you guys been playing? Let's start with Fame. How you doing, sir? What have you been playing?
Like I said, I've been playing a lot of Madden. I just recently got back into Spider-Man. I had the DLC, but didn't play it right when it came out. So, like I said, still really heavy on Madden, but I did jump back into that Spider-Man DLC.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the Spider-Man DLC, is it any good? What do you think?
It's actually pretty cool. It's what I thought it would be, and from what people are telling me. Definitely worth it, but I'm not saying it's not worth it by any means, but definitely fun. I'm not gonna sit and say I'm just like itching, looking forward to the next fountain of DLC they drop, but it's not bad. I paid $20, $25 for it. That's not bad. But like I said, it's what I'm playing to break up my time with Madden because, like I said before, I'm just close to really trying to get back into competitive Madden again.
All right, not bad. Mike, since you've been busy being in Twitter jail, what have you been playing?
Well, my main rotation now is still working my way through Red Dead Redemption 2. Really enjoying that so far. Other than that, I've been playing Black Ops 4, which I also still enjoy, and Live 19, specifically the one mode. Really like the way how they set that up. So that's kind of like my main rotation right now.
All right. So, James, I know you don't play too much, especially in heavy movie season. So, have you played anything? Or are you still working and watching movies?
Yeah, I'm doing the film stuff. Unfortunately, I haven't seen any new films in a while. It's been slow stuff. I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody came out a bit before here in the UK than it did in America. That's the only real recommendation of films I've got. It's even if you don't like Queen, I recommend going to see it because it's one of the better watches of the film this year. It's not going to make like top 10 lists at the end. Well, it might, but it is just a really fun film. And, in times like in this year of all years, I think we need some fun. In terms of gaming, nothing new. I'm playing Final Fantasy X, which came out when I was, 6? So that tells you a lot about me.
Mm-hmm. But wait. I just want to clarify if I heard that correctly. You said Queen? You mean Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't say Bohemian Rhapsody. You said Queen. I was like, wait, what?
I said Bohemian Rhapsody. I said Bohemian Rhapsody's out.
Oh, I'm sorry. For whatever reason, I didn't hear that. I just heard Queen. I was like, what? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Sorry, I zoned out for just a second.
Well, it's not the first time that Britain would have had a weirder name for a film. But because, the Avengers, you know what it was called in Britain?
What?
It was called Marvel's Avengers Assemble.
Huh.
I'll tell you for why. Because in Britain, there's this really famous TV show called The Avengers.
Oh
which
yeah,
came out
I got that, but why would they put the assemble at the end? Like I know that.
because that's what they do in the film. The Avengers, they assemble.
Okay, I guess. But weird.
I don't know. No one understands it. No one gets it. And
like,
no
I
one
understand
called
putting
it
Marvel's
that.
Avengers. Like I understand putting that in front, but
No, and the thing is, nobody called it Marvel's Avengers Assemble. They went, the cinema was like, 1 ticket for the Avengers, please.
Yep.
Stupid.
All right. So, Sam, what you been playing, sir?
So until just a couple of days ago, I was playing the absolute bejesus out of Red Dead Redemption 2. I'll keep my thoughts on that brief because I have a full review and tweet storm coming in very, very soon. But suffice to say, if you haven't played it, or if you haven't started yet, you need to play it. It is absolutely sublime. It's incredible. And what the developers, the many, many developers at Rockstar have done over the last few years, pouring their efforts into this, cannot be overstated.
Yeah, that's true. It's a damn good game. Been really digging it, guys. Like this, that's all I've been playing. So, I even tried to venture out and do something different.
Somebody told me that there's a tiny church in the bayou somewhere. Like, you have to crouch to get in. It looks like a church for ants, and nobody knows why it's there.
There's a lot of little subtle Easter eggs and tiny things that no one really understands, and that is one of them, yes.
What is that a reference to?
I have no idea. Doesn't necessarily have to be. There's a lot of weird stuff that doesn't actually go anywhere, and that's kind of part of the charm as well.
Yeah. I don't think it's actually. I know what you're talking about. I don't think it's actually a church for ants. I think it's just a play church. Like it's for kids. Like
that's also a possibility.
That's what I thought it was, but random funny thing. Actually, near that church, there's a very interesting little. What are we calling this? These aren't quests per se, but these are little things that just happen, and they're like maybe side events.
It's difficult because the difference between quest and like random side events is really blurred here. It's very difficult to tell the two apart.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like an event where someone says, "Oh, I got bit by a snake. Do something," or like other stuff like that. Yeah, I call those an event. Those are side events. Like they're not major things that happen, but just something. But there's one in particular when you're in the bayou where, and I was thinking like it was really funny how it happened too. Like I had just gotten a perfect boar pelt and I had just gotten a snake. I was like, yes, I needed this perfect snake skin so I can get this taken care of. I was really excited. So I'm going by and like I see somebody in a house and he's like, hey, come here. And so I'm like, all right, fine. Let's see what's going on. So I go over there, and he's just like, "Hey, you hungry?" And it's just some hillbilly guy just like on the porch of his house. And so he's like, "You hungry?" And I'm like, "I can eat." Let's go. All right, let's see what's going on. So we go over there, and we're like, "All right, well," and he's just like, "Hey, come on inside. We'll have something to eat." And so I'm like, this is sketchy. Go, put the hand on the sawed-off shotgun, ready to go. Like, just in case. Like this could be real sketchy. You go in there, you walk in, he bashes your head in and knocks you out, and you go to first person, and you see him like toying with you, and you're like, uh-oh. And then you black out, and you end up somewhere like on the outskirts of Saint Denis. And you lose like $100. And it's just like, oh, I think something happened I can't mention on the show. Like, yeah, it was a little concerning, but it's stuff like there's such a like random stuff that happens in that game, which is just so much fun. And I think I do like how like the crimes are. Like, they do not play around with crimes.
No, they don't.
Like, you bump into someone, that's assault. Like, oops.
They really don't.
Like, it's just over the top.
And one thing I will say as well about the controls, in wrapping up the Red Dead Redemption 2 talk, is I know a lot of people are saying the controls are weird or wonky or complicated, but there's a lot of stuff they've crammed in. they have offered players a lot of different ways to interact with people. You can taunt or, greet any NPC. You can rob anyone. You have to be able to aim at someone to talk or aim your gun at them and, shoot. Like, there's a lot of stuff packed into these controls. So take the time to learn them, because once you do, I don't think they're that bad. But that's me.
Well, I mean, there's always those moments of like, oh, damn, these contextual controls. Like, I was walking around Saint Denis because I'm at that point in the game right now, and I accidentally, what was it? I was trying to look at something else. I accidentally pressed a button, ran up to a woman, and started choking her. I'm like, no, I didn't do that. No.
I'm sorry, ma'am. This doesn't usually happen.
Like imagine, like, it's like, oh yeah, sorry, I was reaching into my pocket to grab something. Oh, choke! Like, just randomly, like, it's just over the top. Like, it was just like, okay, it's one of those things. If you're not 100% paying attention, that you're gonna mess up. And I think that's important too, because like, okay, we were talking about this the other day about how they have in Red Dead your fast travel system. You teleport back and forth by, you take a stagecoach or a train or something like that. But they also have it so you can take your horse and you basically go into the cinematic and just kind of wait it out. You really can't just put it in cinematic and walk away. Like, you can't really do that, because there's a lot of stuff that pops up because all these random events just happen all the time, and it just prevents you from actually having, like, oh yeah, I got this perfect beaver pelt and killed this elk and killed a moose. I found a moose, by the way, finally.
Oh my God.
I guess it would take forever to find the moose here. Not just a legendary one, but actual moose. So anyway, you do all this stuff, and what was it? I got the perfect moose pelt, and I was like, yes, finally gonna head back. And I get real close because I was staying at Shady Belle, and I got to the point where the crossroads is between Saint Denis and Shady Belle, and the Lemoyne Raiders were pissed off, came and just killed me. And I was like, no! If you die, you lose all the pelts. It's like, no! Damn it. I had to start over. But anyway, so it's just fun stuff like that. Like, the game's a blast. All right. So we're going to have a moment of solemn news for those of you who are unaware. So it came out just about 2 o'clock this afternoon?
1:30 to 2, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in that range. It was about 1 or 2 o'clock that Stan Lee, the long-time running founder and publisher, editor, the whole 9 yards of Marvel Comics, has passed away at the age of 95. It's honestly not a surprise. He was not doing too well when his wife died last year. Not at all. There were a lot of news stories that were coming out about him being taken advantage of and him just not wanting to live. It was just not a good time. He had a really rough go of it the last year. But he's passed away, and it's been a big loss. Honestly, yeah, like, it's just been really, really bad time. But this is one of those things where this is one of those deaths where it wasn't really unexpected. It wasn't really a bad death, if that makes sense. It's not like when Robin Williams died or something like that, where it was like a suicide or something else along those lines. It's just, it happened, and I'd rather we celebrate his legacy for what he's done for not just comics, but for the more geeky community in general, and for pop culture. I mean, the man's had his hand in pretty much every Marvel creation since its inception. Like, it's been really quite amazing. So I wanted to kind of do something to kind of honor Stan Lee, at least on the show here. I do want to say beforehand, for those of you who hated Stan Lee for being kind of an arrogant prick, because he kind of was, he did take a lot of credit for a lot of different stuff. He did screw over people. Like, we're not going to pretend that didn't happen, but this is a time to look on the positives in his level of influence on comic books and movies and video games. I mean, who else can say they have like over 30 cameos in all these Marvel movies, and even other movies aren't even Marvel movies? Like, who else can say that? But I wanted to kind of go around the room here and just kind of honor Stan Lee with everyone's kind of favorite creation from Stan Lee. It could be a comic, it could be a movie or a character, just kind of anything around the board. So, I mean, I'll start to give you guys some time to think, because I kind of sprung this on the guys. They weren't really anticipating this. So I'll give you guys time to think what you want to do. My favorite character, a creation by Stan Lee, is Ben Grimm, a.k.a. The Thing. When I was growing up, I was always
a rock monster.
Yeah, no, I wasn't a rock monster. I was always a big guy. I was always kind of intimidating to my friends, and I kind of felt like a loner a lot of the time. And when I started reading comic books when I was in middle school, I really associated with him deal with a lot of problems with being kind of a big rock monster, but still being human and still trying to keep his humanity despite his appearance and being a better person. And there's a great run, I think it's by Straczynski. I'm not quite positive, at least off the top of my head, of Ben Grimm. It follows a point in Ben Grimm's life where he demands his cut of the Fantastic Four company, where he demands and becomes an immediate millionaire, and just kind of starts spending it around and really developing him. And it was a solo run. It was just called The Thing. It was a good solo run, and that was one of my favorite runs with the character, because it was a chance where you could see Ben Grimm redefine who he is and where he was coming from, and find his identity away from the Fantastic Four, but to be himself. And I love that character, and being one of the 4 flagship characters from Marvel, from the from whenever Stan Lee kind of reinvigorated timely into Marvel. Yeah, it was a real big deal. My favorite character from Marvel. So, who wants to go next?
I'll go. Mine is pretty easy. There's been a lot of people going back and forth over time of whether or not it's true. And that's it's actually two. It's actually Professor X and Magneto. And one of the sole reasons because they were inspired by Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. I think this the X-Men, the whole universe of X-Men is pretty obvious with what they're pointing to as far as what was happening in the '60s and racial inequality. And I thought that was pretty cool for them to create two of the mainstays of the Marvel universe and the X-Men universe to base them off of two of the most polarizing figures, in the history of the world, and Professor X and Martin Luther King, and Magneto and Magneto with I'm getting mixed up. But Professor X with Martin Luther King, and then Magneto with Malcolm X. And anyone who knows anything about history can see the comparison between the two. Neither one of them necessarily the bad guy, but one pushes a lot harder towards, we are the dominant race, we are the dominant species, while the other one is doing everything it can to make sure, everyone loves everyone. So by far, to me, it's easily Professor X and Magneto.
Yeah. Not bad at all.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go, because it's sort of a weird pick. I sort of was banking on Fame saying Spider-Man, because I deliberately didn't prepare anything about him. For me, because I don't have any history with the comics, the only comic series I ever read was the first was a Civil War in its entirety, but I couldn't tell you a thing about any of the comics. So all my stuff comes from film and TV. And the character that made a lasting impact was, surprisingly, it's Kilgrave from Jessica Jones. I'd never seen anything like that. I'd seen David Tennant as Doctor Who, but seeing the transformation to that character was outstanding. And then seeing Kilgrave's backstory in the context of Jessica Jones season 1, you really understand why this character is the way he is. Basically, a child that was never told no, and how that can impact a person, superpowers or not. It can ruin a life and everyone around you. And I just felt that unbelievably sad and heartbreaking. And also, it doesn't help that it doesn't hurt that David Tennant plays that character just with a devilish evilness. I love it. Yeah, Kilgrave for me is awesome, and I'm very happy that they never really put him in the films, because the amount of damage that he could do if he told Tony Stark to do something, you know.
Yeah. All right, who's next?
I'll go next. I'm actually going to go with Beast from X-Men. One of the things that I always liked about Beast was that he wasn't your typical superhero in that kind of mold. And what I mean by that is, if you look at his appearance, like, he's big, he's covered in hair, he's covered in fur, he's swole, and you would think that the only thing that he has going for him is his super strength, and he has that, but he also has genius level intellect. So, I mean, if I was making a team, like an all-star team of superheroes, not quite the X-Men, but like an all-star team of superheroes, if I had to pick, say, 5 of them, he would definitely be one of those 5, because I think Beast is one of the most well-rounded heroes in the Marvel Universe, because he has that combination of not only physical strength, but also genius as well.
All right. And Sam?
Okay, so my pick is actually going to be Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. And the reasoning is a little different than you might imagine. Back in 2008, 10 years ago, I wasn't even 13, I was barely 12 years old, and I saw Iron Man on the big screen, and it blew my little mind. You know, it was awesome, don't get me wrong, it was cool, the action was great, it was funny, but importantly than that, it inspired me. Seeing this man who has it all, who can get anything he wants, he has all the money and women in the world, whatever, and he's broken down, reduced to nothing, told he's going to die pretty soon, and that's with a giant magnet in his heart. And he starts making things count. He starts trying to undo the damage that his weapons have caused. He tries helping people, even if it doesn't go over really well, repairing relationships, focusing on what matters to him. And that inspired me. That's the reason that I started studying engineering, that I actually started taking myself seriously in school, that I actually was interested in doing something besides playing video games or reading, you know? And it was a huge, huge burst of inspiration for me. And that's something that I'm always going to remember.
Mm-hmm. All right. Man, that means a lot. Like, really. That's I mean, that's the thing. Like, I would argue probably Stan Lee is one of the most influential people who's ever walked the earth. Like, because he's had his hands in so many properties over so long, and has just done an absolute amazing job of just marketing and pushing these characters. And like, okay, if people were to look out and say, like, okay, who are the most recognizable superheroes of all time? Before the MCU, I would always say it's Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man, and that's a big deal. And now, I think almost Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk. I think they're all kind of on par with Batman and Superman at this point, thanks to the MCU. And without Stan Lee, we wouldn't have the MCU at this point.
It's not an exaggeration to say that probably the average person on the average street could name more Avengers than they could starting quarterbacks in the NFL.
No, that would not be an overstatement at all, and that's crazy.
Yeah. That's fair. That's a fair one.
Random guy, one of our regulars in chat, asked if we could list off our favorite Stan Lee cameos.
Mole
Favorite
rats.
Stan Lee cameos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about earlier. I was saying like even movies that aren't even those movies he's in there.
I will say one of my favorite is this most recent one, and it was animated in Teen Titans Go.
Oh, that's great.
I thought that was absolutely amazing because, of course, we know Titans are DC, and the fact that DC is smart enough and respectful enough to have a Stan Lee cameo in Teen Titans Go, that was absolutely amazing, and no one saw it coming. That's why it's probably my number one favorite, because number one, it's animated Stan Lee, and number two, he's making fun of himself, saying I shouldn't be here. And he comes back like, I don't give a damn if this is DC. It's comic books. It's superheroes. I love superheroes, and like he's there. And that was just an awesome moment for people who love comics, and whether you're DC or Marvel, to have Stan Lee cameo in a DC movie or DC animated movie was amazing.
Yeah. Favorite one. Come back to me in a minute.
Okay, that's fair. Mine, there's a couple of different ones, so I'm going to cheat and list off two that I really, really like. My first one is actually in a movie that isn't exactly great, but his cameo in The Amazing Spider-Man. And I know it's not a great film, but that one is funny.
It's the librarian, isn't it?
The library, where he's got the headphones in, music playing, he's doing a little dance as he's, the janitor there. And meanwhile, in the background, Lizard and Spider-Man are just obliterating the library. No two books left standing on top of each other. That one's pretty funny. And then the other one that really took me off guard was Deadpool, simply because it happens in the least Stan Lee situation you'd think possible. And so that was really funny as well.
Yeah. Who was he in Deadpool 2?
Wasn't he like a DJ? Or was
No,
that Deadpool 1?
No, that was
Deadpool.
number one. That was
Deadpool 2. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Well, it can't have been that good.
Yeah. For me, I have one, but it's more like how I felt like it would be a better cameo when he's not being himself or something, or just a background character. One of them I did like for a long time was in Fantastic Four 1, going way back.
What when he's Stan Lee?
No, that's Fantastic Four 2.
Oh, you're
that's
right.
Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yep.
In the first one, he is the postman, but he actually has a name. Why am I not thinking what his name is? I forgot what his name is. It'll come to me later. But he's an actual character who actually has like a real backstory and stuff. He's not just some random person. I gotta look this up because I can't remember what his name is off the top of my head.
But another great performance of him as a postman was in Civil War.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt, but Willie Lumpkin.
That's what it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bringing the mail.
Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't remember it. The other two, and this is two of them. One, Spider-Man 2. When he's standing next to Peter and he says, "Maybe one man can make a difference," and I was like, "Damn it, man!" Actually, that might have been Spider-Man 3. Now I think
it was 3.
Yeah, that was 3 because he's standing. He's looking at the Jumbotron when he does that. And the other one is actually the most recent Spider-Man game, where he's the restaurant owner.
Yeah,
that one's pretty good too. That one's pretty.
And he's
good.
like, "You two would be great together." I was like, "Damn it, Stan!" But yeah, those are my favorite ones. But anyway, moving right along. So we actually have an announcement to make before we get into these XO 2018 impressions. We have a giveaway to announce. Yes, a giveaway. You've heard me correctly, ladies and gentlemen. We are actually giving away a game of your choice. You can pick
Holy
it.
crap.
It's any game you want. Digital code. We're not doing that shipping stuff. So we will give away a game of your choice, or we will give away a gift card amounting to that game, depending on what it is. This is only including the standard edition of a game. We'll kind of work with you a little bit on it. Like, for example, if you want to get Fallout 76, and you don't like, we'll give you the standard copy if you win. or we'll give you the gift card for it, and you can pay for the expanded extra stuff edition if you wish to do so. We'll work with you to get that taken care of. So we'll try to figure this out a little bit. I'm going to actually post a link to the giveaway itself in the chat in just a moment, so be on the lookout for it. We are going to give away the game itself on Black Friday, which will be is it the 23rd? Well, it's going to be a Friday. It'll be the 23rd. Yeah, not this Friday, but next Friday. It'll be on the 23rd of November. We're going to be giving away a game at that time. So you guys can go and log in. As we do every single time, we do not accept bot winners. They have to be real people. I will be checking Twitter accounts to see who gets in. So before when we draw them, I will check to see if it's an actual person. There's a way I can do a bot check. Very easy. So we are going to do that a little later. Let me get that link in there. So theoretically, if you guys could win, out of all the games that have come out this holiday season, what game would you want to get? So let's ask the crew here. So Sam, what would you want to win?
If I could win, I mean, I would say Red Dead Redemption 2 because it's by far the biggest game, one of the biggest games of the year, but I already have it. So are you saying taking that into consideration or not?
No, just any game you don't have already.
Any game that I don't have already. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, off the top of my head.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey? All right.
That was mine. That was my Odyssey as well. Because I don't care for
Hello?
He doesn't care for Red Dead, he said.
Oh, yeah, he just cut out right there. I was like, what?
Well, his mic could tell that he was speaking blasphemy, so it cut him off as quick as possible. But...
All right. So what we got now? We got, what about you, Mike? What would you want?
So for me, off the top of my head, games that I don't have, it'd probably be Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
All right.
I want to get Spyro Reignited.
Oh, that's also a good one. That's a good one to throw out.
I've really craving that game lately. I don't know why. I was like,
it's wholesome.
Spyro ever
It looks bright and colorful and wholesome.
Man, Spyro was good. Man, the Spyro 1 was the first game I ever beat. Before that, I would just play it till I was bored.
Who's on the phone?
Who is on the phone?
Who's on the phone?
What do you mean?
No phone calls.
Wait, am I back? Oh, I'm back.
Yeah, you're back.
I don't know. Were you calling customer service?
Wait, y'all could hear that?
Yes, we could.
I was doing like a playtest sound to see like what's going on with my thing. All of a sudden, y'all heard that. That was weird. I'm surprised. I don't know how y'all heard that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, we have a way. We have a way to know. All right. So, all right. Who hasn't said anything? James, did you hear yours?
Hitman 2.
Hitman 2.
Hitman
Another
2.
good one.
Good point. Actually, if we had Nick here, we just ask him his impressions on it since he's been doing the review. So, but he's not here. So go at him on the Twitters. Yell at him, everyone.
Yeah, everyone go at Undead 3XVI and find out what game he would like to win. Please go do that.
All right. So actually, one of the things a random guy just brought up, I think we do need to mention, which I thought was really funny, actually. Apparently, people on PC are unable to uninstall the Fallout 76 beta unless they buy the game.
It's like the most random problem to have.
It's the most Todd Howard thing possible.
It's a feature.
I think that's totally cool. No, I think it's actually a good idea. Because remember, the only way you could get in the beta was to pre-order the game.
You raised a good point. That's fair, actually.
And so these people actually pre-ordered the game, got their beta code, then canceled the pre-order. So it says, okay, just take 50 gigs and let it sit on your hard drive.
Now, part of me is wondering whether that's even legal or not, but nonetheless, I do find it funny.
Show me the law.
I didn't say it wasn't. I'm just saying I wonder. I don't know if it is. I'm wondering if there's something somewhere.
Somewhere over the rainbow, maybe. But yeah, so all right, moving right along to other topics. So XO18 happened. We finally have some the long-awaited Winter Xbox event. So I kind of want to get your guys' impressions on it. Fame, I'm going to save you for later because I know your impressions.
I'm just going to go on record saying I didn't watch it. I don't really know what happened. You guys take the wheel.
All right. So let's ask you, Mike, what do you think? What do you think of it?
You know, I didn't watch it live, but I did, follow up with the news afterwards and look through the announcements. I thought it was fine. It was basically what I expected. I don't really like giving grades out to things like this because it's not like this was going to be E3 version 2, right?
Sure.
I would say that it was like a B-, B maybe. Because there were some things that I definitely expected, like them acquiring Obsidian. I think everybody knew that. Crackdown 3, you knew that they were going to show more Crackdown 3. Some things that I thought they were going to show that they didn't show. The one thing that sticks out is Battletoads. I thought we were going to see something related to that, and they didn't show it. And I thought we were going to see something Gears related, and they didn't show it. But some other things that were as a surprise to me, the DLC for Forza Horizon 4 looks great. I'm going to be playing the hell out of that. I thought that looked awesome. And I'm also really intrigued by the new arena mode that they're bringing to Sea of Thieves, the PvP kind of mode that they're adding to it. I think that looks really cool, and I think it looks like it's a lot of fun. So some things I were expecting, some things didn't happen that I thought were going to happen, and there were a couple surprises in there. So overall, I didn't think it was outstanding by any means, but I thought it was good, and I thought it was solid for the most part. So overall, I was pretty happy with it.
All right. Okay. All right. Sam?
Yeah, I'll echo Mike's thoughts. I think it was a good event overall. And at the end of the day, like Mike's saying, it was a fan fest. It was the XO event for the fans there in Mexico. And I do want to say shout out and congrats to Microsoft and Xbox for catering to someone not on the West Coast of the United States. That was actually really appreciated, them going somewhere else, hosting that in Mexico City. The pacing of the conference or the show, whatever, was I think it was good overall, them picking up Obsidian and In Exile Entertainment. That can't be overstated how important that is, because both of those developers, particularly Obsidian, was on the brink of financial ruin. And so saving those classic Black Isle RPG devs, and they're going to be making big RPGs, small RPGs, whatever kinds of games they want to do, that's fantastic. There's just a couple of bizarre omissions. Like, I'm sorry, where the heck is Ashen? The developers are out here on Twitter every single day, literally every single day. I've checked their tweets saying, yes, Ashen's coming in 2018. Yes, we're going to be very happy to announce it. I'm like, okay, we're running out of track here, folks. We can only put down the railway lines in front of this train so long. Like, we're running out of 2018. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I would have liked to have seen some Cuphead DLC or Battletoads, or even like whatever new game Ninja Theory is working on, or finally a Fable tease. That would have been really cool. I think it was good. It was neither great nor was it terrible. It was good. It was a nice little thing, particularly with the two studios being saved. There's just a couple of bizarre omissions.
Yeah. All right. So, Fame, I know you have some interesting things to say.
Well, you know what? I think it's a good thing having me go last, because now I won't be ranting and raving. Here's the thing. For what it was okay to decent. You got the 2 studio acquisitions. All right, fine, cool. You talked about the keyboard and mouse support on Xbox for particular games, and including Fortnite, Warframe, etc., etc. Okay, cool. Crackdown was the highlight of the show for me. It looks upgraded. It looks fantastic. They actually showed the multiplayer, which is what I know most people, including myself, wanted to see, was the multiplayer. I wanted to see that 100% destruction. I wanted to see that, and I saw it. I'm sold. I'm still excited for Crackdown. But this entire show was pretty much a big commercial for Xbox Game Pass. Not saying it's wrong with Xbox Game Pass. I'm a subscriber to Xbox Game Pass, but the entire show was built around Xbox Game Pass. You kept showing, we got 16 new games coming out, and this and this and that for Game Pass, and this and that for Game Pass. It was a lot. It was just an overload of Game Pass. And we kept seeing this stupid NBA 2K Playgrounds commercial like 4 times during the show. Like they could have stopped showing that. Like Sam said, where the hell was Ashen? This is a great opportunity to say, hey, Ashen's releasing today or Ashen's releasing sometime soon. Missed opportunity. Missed opportunity to at least show or tease some Battletoads gameplay. Missed opportunity. Missed opportunity for the fact that Phil hinted and teased a mystery project next year. If they got enough to show at least a teaser trailer right now or image or logo or something. This thing was a missed opportunity. For what it was great. For what it was. But people, you had the entire gaming community. You had every publisher, you had everybody at the palm of your hands. You had everyone had your attention. And we had a glorified Xbox Game Pass commercial. You had the world in your hand, and you didn't give us enough. They could have done a lot more at the show. 2 hours. 2 hours. And we didn't get a lot. Like I said, the best thing about it, 2 studio acquisitions, great. There's some people running around talking about how NXL is going to be still making games for PS4. Yeah, they're going to make games they're contractually obligated to make, so that's great. Microsoft got them some more exclusive studios, fine. Crackdown, great, yes, but they missed out on a lot of opportunities, and I just, it sucks that people make the fun about waiting to E3, but it's unfortunate we have to wait until E3 again because they didn't give us at least something to say, holy crap, I can't wait to see more of this. That didn't happen one time in the show. There was nothing shown that said, oh crap, I really can't wait to see more of this.
Actually, to be fair, I can't wait to see more of Crazy Larry, in all honesty.
I'm good on that, bro. I'm good on that. And I look, don't get me wrong, people say I'm tripping. I love Larry. I do. It's just this whole stick is so corny now, it needs to stop. It needs to stop. I'm sorry. I love Larry. I love him what he does, but this whole stick needs to stop. It just looks terrible. And on top of that, I think a lot of that cheering was they were getting cued to cheer, which I thought that was I was like, what is this, a sitcom? You're being told when to laugh and when to cheer. I didn't like that. It was just too obvious from when they laughed and when they stopped laughing. You could tell they were being told to stop and when to cheer and when to stop and when to cheer. I didn't like that. And that's just me.
Well, by the way you're describing it, it sort of seems like, yeah, sure, they're holding back on doing something, but maybe they've just learned from the past that announcing stuff and learning from Sony announcing stuff too early. They just want to announce it when things are right. And also with the next generation on the horizon, with all these new studio acquisitions, I can imagine when they announce whatever the new Xbox is, they'll be like, and here is the launch lineup with the new game from Ninja Theory, the new Playground game, the new Obsidian game.
Yeah, but how late? I mean, how far are they going to string us along before they do that? Like how far can they string along?
I'm not the person to ask about that.
Yeah,
how far can they string along a potential consumer? Because at this point, next gen, the next potential consumer is already sold on a PS5. They are already sold on a PS5.
And that is what it is. We can argue all day long about what they should be doing, and I agree, dude. I was hoping for at least one big game announcement, or even just, I'm not even going to say big. I was hoping for one game announcement or more on the games that they've got there, but there's 2 things on that. A, the Game Awards are right around the corner, and it is possible that they've got something that they'll drop there. I'm not saying it's likely. It's not likely at all. I'm just saying it could be. Jeff Keighley is out here saying that it's going to be the most world reveals ever on the Game Awards stage. It is possible they could do something there. But regardless of whether that happens or not, we're in the waiting stage. That's all there is to it. Phil got his hands untied into Satya's checkbook late last year. And as a result, they're trying their absolute best to get ahead of things, to get in position, but it's going to be a little longer. That's just all there is to it. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying I'm happy about it. I'm just saying it is reality.
And I get that 100%. It's just, I don't know. And I didn't go in with these great expectations of XO. I didn't. But I did expect something.
I don't disagree with you, but here's the thing at the same time, and I want to throw out something James said as well about games that Sony has announced way too early. Because let's be honest here. Everything they announced in 2016, minus Ghost of Tsushima, that was it for this generation. I guarantee you right now, Days Gone, that was supposed to originally come out in 2017. Now that's a mid 2019 game. Dreams, that was announced back in 2014. We still don't have a release date for the
what
beta.
You're saying is absolutely true, but all those games sell you on the next console. And that's what Microsoft needs to do. They need to begin to sell. Yes, it's great to have studios. This is great. We know games are coming, but you have to. This gen is done, right? This gen is over. This gen is we're at the end of this gen, so it's time to start selling the next gen. And what you're gonna tell us? Hey, next gen guys, we got some game coming out. We got all these studios, but the difference between them and Sony, yes, Sony announced games too early, but you know what game is coming, and you have an idea on what's coming for your next console. And I just wish Microsoft, and I get it because they felt burned about Scalebound. I understand that because they felt like they announced it too early. I get that, but they have to find a fine line between not announcing anything and announcing too early, because they were announcing too early at first. Now they're not announcing anything. So it's like they have to find a common ground to keep the gamer interested. To continue
may I put a scenario in place just for what might happen in the future? They go the announcement of whatever the next box the next box is. Call it that. That's a good name. And they go, here are the launch lineup, and for everybody who already has Game Pass, you can play a demo of all of these games right now. They are building up the player base because right now the Game Pass is the best deal in gaming. I mean that. I can't see a reason why if you had an Xbox you wouldn't have Game Pass. If PlayStation had something near as good, I'd be ranting and raving about it for as far as the eye could see. If they build up the Game Pass, which is what they should be doing right now, they need to be focusing on what they have right now, selling Xbox One X's, selling Xbox One S's, selling Game Pass, building up whatever they can right now, clawing back what they can from Sony, which is exactly what Sony did at the end of the PS3. They are building a good reputation going into the next generation. Sony are losing their reputation at the moment. They're not going to win. Because they can't. The race for this generation is over. It was over a long time ago, but they're starting the preparations for next gen.
And I agree 100%, 1,000,000%. You're absolutely right. I do. They are building these stepping stones for next gen, but those stepping stones are hidden behind a steel curtain. We can't see what those stepping stones are, and that's my problem. Yes, I know Game Pass is there. I know they're building for Game Pass, and they're building the stepping stones for next gen. But the stepping stones are hidden behind a steel curtain. Show me what's on that next step, and that's all I'm saying. Show me what's next. Give me a hint. Get me excited about something. I don't care. I don't care if they went on XO and said and showed a PNG of Hellblade that said Hellblade the prequel. I know Hellblade prequel is coming, so I am hyped and I'm super excited because I know that's what's coming. That's what I have to look forward to. Yes, I know it's on Game Pass. Yes, I know it's exclusive, but I can put something tangible. I can put my finger on and say this is what's coming, and this is why I have an Xbox next gen. Not because I think the game's coming or they said this game's coming, but I can point to something tangible and say this is the reason why I own an Xbox. And they're not giving us that, and that's my issue. I get everything y'all saying. You guys are 100% correct. I'm not knocking anything you guys saying. I'm just saying for me, the type of gamer I am, I want to put my finger on something tangible and say, this is the reason why I'm getting an Xbox next gen.
Speaking of tangible things that came out very recently, you all see the Detective Pikachu trailer?
Oh my God!
I haven't seen it yet. I just looked at a GIF of it, and it just looks really, really funny.
So good.
Just
so good. I can't
it really
wait.
looks funny.
I'll be there Thursday night.
Sam and Mike, do you know anything about Detective Pikachu?
I know that Pikachu solves crimes. That's literally it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's about
Pikachu
my
Solve Crimes.
extent.
It's a game series on the 3DS, I believe. The Pikachu in it is fully voice acted, and he's got a very gruff, like old 30s detective swigging brandy kind of voice, and it's amazing. It's very funny. It's very tongue in cheek,
And who's voicing it?
Ryan
Who's
Reynolds.
voicing him?
Your
Ryan
boy
Reynolds. Oh my god, that's gonna be funny.
It's gonna be
So
so
the thing
good,
is,
dude.
so the main character the main boy in this, who played the black nerd in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, if any of you saw that,
I haven't
this
seen
guy.
it, so I don't know.
But a point of reference for anyone who had. So he can understand this Pikachu, who is voiced by Ryan Reynolds. No one else can. All everyone else hears just Pika Pika, but this guy hears. We need to go down the station and get this now. It's so weird.
That is an incredible juxtaposition that sounds incredibly stupid and yet awesome at the same time.
And the Pokemon look very well done.
Oh,
Like, they look very well done.
Pikachu looks. Oh my god! When they announced that there was going to be Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, I just assumed, man, people love Eevee, and now Eevee's going to be a thing. Eevee's going to take over. And the moment I saw Pikachu in this trailer, I'm like, that's the boy.
And Mr. Mime, the whole Mr. Mime bit was hilarious. Like, that's gonna be, it's gonna be so good, so good.
I think we might. I think I'm going to say the words, and I'm regretting saying it, but I'm going to say it. I think this is the video game film to change the tide.
Yeah,
oh god,
this is it.
This is it. Like,
this
oh
is
my
it. This
god.
is the one.
Here's why. There's no story to mess up.
You're right. This is the one.
But wait, does this count as a video game movie technically?
Yes, it
like,
does.
yes, they're using a video. Yes, they're using a video game IP. Yes, but it's like it's not following any sort of narrative. I don't know. Do we count that though?
Yes, we
like,
do.
They're not gonna.
I count it.
Would this be a thing if not for the game? No. Therefore, it is a video game movie.
It's honestly surprising that there hasn't been a Pokemon live action film up to this point.
I'm actually kind of surprised by that. Now that you bring that up,
this as the one.
I think the problem would have been the problem that this movie doesn't have is the Pokemon looking so terrible and looking like we wouldn't be unrecognizable. They'll be trying to do too much, but they do these perfectly. Even Jigglypuff, the whole thing is so well done. I think that was the biggest fear in the past, is that it might not have been as well done.
Mm-hmm. No, I gotta watch this trailer with sound. I'll make a decision.
Watch it. As soon as we end the show, go watch it. You're gonna be sold from the very beginning.
Yeah, and Pikachu is so fluffy.
Yeah, that's what I was weirded out by. I was like, ugh, like this made me actually think of dark things with no sound and just looking at it like, ugh.
I mean, he is a mouse.
Yeah.
What do you expect? Mouse have
I don't
hair.
know. They have fur, sir, not hair. There's a difference. Anyway,
was that a Trump impression?
Maybe.
Oh my god.
I think you'll find that it's fur. It's very furry.
Jeez. All right, so we're going to be wrapping things up here on the show. We got to give our impressions about XO. We talked about Stan Lee, and we announced the giveaway. Remember, guys, you guys can go and get that giveaway. We actually put a link in the description below for how to join in the giveaway. It's just some basic stuff, like follow the Multiverse Twitter account, subscribe to the channel, watch this video. It's not too hard. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. It's a great blast doing this every Monday. I love doing this, and that's why we keep doing it every week. We'll do the show next Monday, and then we will announce the winner on Twitter on Black Friday. The plan is to shoot for around noon. It might be about 3 o'clock, actually, depending on how things go, because actually I have to work that day, that we'll find the winner. For those of you that are not familiar with how we normally do these shows, not shows, we do these giveaways rather. We actually do check and make sure you are a real person, first off, and then afterwards, if we'll normally give you like about 12 hours to respond. I figure that's fair.
And a real person that doesn't go around entering, that doesn't have to enter giveaways, that their whole social media life is entering giveaways, you will not win.
Yeah, like as a general rule, if all you ever tweet about is giveaways, nah. You're probably not going to win unless you can prove to me otherwise you're a real person. But like I said, there's ways to check on that, and there's actually a bot detector, which I actually have for this giveaway. So, anyway, guys, we'll wrap things up here. Thank you guys for tuning into the Multiverse Show, episode 110, greatest show on Mondays, and we are out of here.